You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Sponsored by Treebor Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.
Well, it's the Not the Weekend podcast. Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio, Gareth Richards, Emily Dean. I got Pig Iron. Oh, I haven't said that for a long time. I don't know where that quite came from. Anyway, welcome to our listeners, whether you're on the street, sitting at home, maybe you're... Say you could be somewhere in West Africa, maybe leaning over an old computer you've managed to knock together. This is your big contact with the old country.
Mm. It's not all like this, but some of it is.
What?
The old country, yeah.
I know, it's not all like this. Would that it were? That's what I say.
Yeah.
So, yes, so thank you, welcome. I don't know where I'm thanking you just for listening. So you have to go the extra mile to listen to the podcast. So I think radio is not that difficult. You could do it accidentally in a shop, but you've gone there. You've subscribed or you've downloaded. We love you for that. My favourite story of the week, can I say, before we go any further, I think, probably of the year so far, was the man from Birmingham who has decided to become I'm calling him a superhero. He's not claiming any powers, I think, of any particular kind.
He's a crime fighter, isn't he?
He is. And I've often, fantasised about doing just that myself. I have, about going out and...
Is it a Brummy thing, maybe?
Well, if you fantasise, and I've tried both, if you fantasise about eating normal, peaceful, law-abiding citizens, you feel all right about it. It's exciting for a bit, then you start to feel a terrible sense of guilt. But with the criminals, you do feel you could really lay into them. If you were, like, someone tried to mug you and you managed to overpower them, I don't think you need to leave them alone until they're basically flat. So they look like a bearskin rug. Till the whole skeleton has been flattened by your persistent punching and kneeing. So I can see that he's called the Statesman.
Yes, he is.
Which is, I'm loving that as well.
Yeah. He wears a Union Jack top, Frank. Could he not stretch to a onesie? Because traditionally that is what a crime-fighting superhero should wear.
Just wearing black
in the kick-ass
trousers.
mould.
I think you'll find that he's on the slope to superhero-dom. I think he started like that. I mean, the thing I was least happy with was the Union Jack top. There's a suggestion of some sort of fascistic element, which I didn't.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I wish he'd have gone for, stars, that kind of thing. They go lightning flashes.
Do you know what, Frank? It's a bit cobbled together, his costume, like when you dressed up as a cowboy as a child and put on wellies and jeans.
Yeah, but you try,
No, you dressed up as Superman, didn't you? Batman. And what did you wear, Frank?
I wore jeans, swimming trunks, Wellingtons.
But it's a Birmingham thing.
Grey school jumper.
Well, he's got a mask of Zorro, hasn't he?
Yes.
And then a Union Jack top and fingerless gloves.
To be fair to him, have you ever tried shopping for a superhero outfit? It's all very well you casting aspersions, but he's had to make do amend. I mean, that's the nature of it.
Even I tried to find that top online.
Why?
Well, I just thought, how easy was it to get that top? Because, not that I'm thinking of becoming a superhero.
They'll have it at Fonzie's Leathers. Sparkbrook.
Yeah, and I couldn't find it, and I did, a small search, and I couldn't find it straight away, so how did he get it?
Perhaps I could join him. Perhaps me and him could become I could be called the Elder Statesman.
Well, there are other people. There are other people he does it with.
In Birmingham?
And I was intrigued by one of the stories about him, when it says, he says we, which already, that suggests other people are doing it with him.
Yeah, that's how I'd have read that.
He says, we were patrolling London together at 3 a.m.
He's taken on quite a big manor.
Yeah, he's commuting.
Yeah.
For the night.
Oh, I thought he was very Birmingham-based, this guy.
Yeah,
no, he is, because he says he's trying to
Perhaps
keep an eye...
he was in pursuit of a
He's trying to keep an eye, Frank, on the underbelly of Birmingham, he says.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He wants to keep an eye on his own underbelly from the picture I've seen of him. 16 stone, apparently.
Yeah. Could get a mirror on a stick.
You see, it's very hard to creep up on the criminals if you're eating crisps. It's a giveaway, straight away. So he does London as well. He will travel.
Then there's a group of people.
What does he do? Get on the train?
So there's the Statesman. Who are the others?
I don't know. The other
personal
people,
private secretary. The minister without portfolio. They're all minor,
And then
minor political posts.
There could be the intern as well. I could play that role.
Yeah.
The PR man. The spin doctor.
Spin Doctor actually sounds like it could be a villain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Who
Be a good name for a DJ. Somebody must have used that, had they?
has
That must have come up.
some kind of thing where he rotates people until they talk.
What? That's horrible. What's going on in your mind?
Spin Doctor, I can see that.
you
If
can
you had
see-
a sort of a
imagine
turntable.
the Statesman strapped onto like a giant record player, and he's
Or a
being
rotisserie.
Spun, yeah, or a rotisserie. Now, Statesman, now you
mean,
will
the
tell me where.
The Statesman is no stranger to a rotisserie, that's my guess. even a complete pig roast.
Anyway, they said he was with. They saw a guy running across Trafalgar Square away from two PCSOs, who are the police community support officers.
Oh, yes,
you
I
know
know.
those
You've got
people
all
I
the
know.
jargon, haven't
who
you?
are very. I mean, they have few powers.
Are they the pretend ones?
Yeah, they're the.
I
pretend
hate
ones.
the pretend
They have no
ones.
powers.
They have-
They're not superheroes.
No, they-
Did you think they were?
no, but they-
I
I
see-
think they've got X-ray vision.
I see them on a level with like Wembley stewards or something.
Oh no, I like to see them knocking about. There's a lot of knock around by my flat. I'll say good evening to them in a kind of a kind of a way.
In a slightly patronising way.
I mean, they're not that different from me dressed as Batman in Wellingtons and my, they're basically playing at policemen. And they don't get a proper uniform, so they sort of, they put something together, and then they go out and they are the slowest walkers I have ever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they'll walk from, say, Lambeth Bridge. Forgive me if you don't live in London, but it's Lambeth Bridge to the Houses of Parliament is what, half a mile?
Yeah.
That'll take them 4 or 5 hours. What they've done is they've seen the opening titles of the bill. You know, that's very dum. Da, 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 da. Slightly splayed feet.
With the sheer tights, yeah. I know that.
And that's how they walk.
But you see, Frank, that's the trouble. The high-vis jacket, people pop one of those on, think it's instant authority.
No, that is true.
Who said that?
Basically, those people are like the normal youths that hung around on the street corners, and then they got to a certain age and they just put a high vis on them.
I think they're people who wanted to be policemen.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, let's not go into it.
Why didn't they do it? I don't make the rules. Oops.
Yeah, well, somebody does make the rules, so they involve a written exam. That's why they don't do it. No, I like to see them about.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were
let's
chasing.
put it this
chasing
way.
2 part-time policemen.
He saw 2 of them and decided they needed some help.
Well, I've often thought that, but I've thought, maybe more literary skills than actual fighting.
So he saw 2 of them chasing this guy. They were shouting at him, but he wasn't going to stop, so he threw off our overcoats. Because what he does is
their
he wears
secret identities.
and
is it?
he walks around late at night wearing a large overcoat over his costume.
Yes, I
You say
see.
costume.
He's actually naked underneath. In fact, is he a superhero or is he a sex pest? You decide. That's this week's phone in.
Bit of both. Not that I don't know that for a fact.
No, I don't think
No,
he is.
I think he's a hero.
well-intentioned.
I think he's a national. This is what the big society's all about. This man.
You're right. Absolutely.
Just let's all join in.
I agree with that. I
I'm
think that the big society is essentially about vigilante justice.
Yeah, I'm going to go
I
into a
mean,
hospital
why
and just help out.
throw a knotted pair of trainers over a telegraph wire when you can use a noose? So, did
Anyway,
they
this guy jumped bail and he was throwing drugs as he ran away from these police community support officers.
throwing drugs? How marvellous! A sort of Father Christmas.
Shame
type
Charlie
figure.
Sheen wasn't around.
Yeah.
and they caught him and pinned him down until the officers arrived.
So they overtook the officers.
Imagine.
Well, I told you how slow they walk.
He should have jogged.
Even 16 stone statesman was able to. When I say 16 stone statesman, I don't mean Kenneth Clark was involved.
Or John Prescott.
No. Is he a statesman still?
Oh, not only not.
I think once you do an
Was he
advert-
ever really?
Well,
It was a bit high-vis syndrome
I
with
wouldn't
him, wasn't
mind
it?
him
Just put the
helping me
jacket
out,
on.
though, if I was pursuing a drug-based criminal.
Elderly woman always comes in useful.
Well, he said apparently he's quite adept in fighting. To be fair to the statesman, he said he's boxed all his life, and he said boxing has made me able to judge things and be reasonable. Yeah, didn't work for Mike Tyson, did it?
Like-
a man who I would say has neither judged things very well or been reasonable. So, but basically I'm supportive of it. I like the idea. Have you ever been on a night bus, for example, and there's one person who's been written... No, well, trust me.
No, I have.
There's one person who's been mouthy and spoiling it for everyone else, and there's like 40 people who are like, the good guys. And clearly, if there was unity and they stood up, that guy could be... Well, he could be pulled apart.
Yeah.
I mean, physically ripped to pieces. Yeah. And, if you're...
That's what the big society's all about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we don't do it. We all sit there a bit nervous. And I like the idea of the statesman going out there and, cleaning up, as it were.
Yes.
What about that? Now, I've said it.
No,
of course,
good.
he'll kill 4 people mistakenly later in the week, and I'll feel bad I said that. But, if you're going to make an omelette...
Exactly.
He tells his family he's out.
He probably does make an omelette quite often. Yeah. I'm imagining Swiss cheese and ham would be one of his favourites. But with a bit of ketchup. That's my theory.
He tells his family he's out playing poker 4 nights a week. So he's helping the community, and they just think he's got a terrible gambling problem.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's chosen a very noble pastime, and then he's pretending he's doing
He says all watching pay-per-view sports. He does say sports at the end of that.
Does he?
Yeah.
Now, that's a worry, you see, because normally British people don't say sports, they say sport.
Oh, that means he's not a real fan then, does it?
Well, it means he's very Americanised, and that's, I think, where he's taken up the whole superhero thing from, I think. I bet he says, you do the math.
Well, you better take that Union Jack
Winner.
T-shirt off then.
Yeah.
Rhymes with winner.
Well, now, what was that? We had a text from someone, didn't we, about Gareth? Was it a Gareth fan?
Steve the Birch from the bakery in Birchington. Is that right? Or something like that?
He wanted to hear more.
There's an anagram of what was sent to him. We have to piece it together. Is it like that?
He said he loved the train story. He said it was the best thing since Raymond Blanc. So,
well,
strap yourselves in.
What, you have another train story?
Well, for weeks I've been telling train stories.
Yeah.
But why have you been on the train so much?
It's just been so much. I've just been doing a lot of travelling, and I sometimes
have you taken a day job?
Get the train.
Are you a trolley man?
No.
By day. Okay.
No. Well, this is actually. I know this is very exciting. This one. I don't want to build it up too much. I was in. I mentioned in the show that I was in Leicester, and for the journey back, I had pre-booked my train ticket.
Oh, is that cheap?
It's cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah, it is
and
cheaper.
it means you had a reserved seat.
But it means I had a reserved seat. But it does mean I have to get on a particular train. So it was about 8 o'clock in the evening, and I was on the platform.
Well, in fairness, one generally has to get on a particular train. You can't just randomly end up in Fife or something.
Especially if you've got a reserved seat. They can't reserve a seat on every train. Even every train going from Leicester to Bournemouth. Is there a direct Leicester to Bournemouth route?
No, I was going through London.
I see.
I had to go through London.
Oh, that was the statesman's excuse.
And so I was on the platform, and then I got a phone call.
Oh.
The train was arriving any second, and it was a promoter of a comedy club in Leicester. He had seen that I was doing my show in Leicester that night, and he needed someone to fill in at the last minute. Someone had pulled out.
Oh, I see.
And he said, "Can you do it?" And I said, "Yeah, but I can, but I'd need."
But I'll have to come via London, so as not to waste money.
No, I said because I could get another train because it would be a paid gig, but I'd need to know straight away. And he goes, "Well, I'll phone you back." And I said, "Look, I need to get on this train because this is the only I've got a ticket for this train, so I'm going to need to get on. So really, phone me back quickly."
I can see your dilemma here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but he needed to talk to someone and to make sure,
to talk. He needed to phone 9 other comics, is what you mean. Anyway, carry on.
And so the train arrived.
Oh.
No phone call yet. So I got on the train.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Because I told him, I'm going to have to get on the train. You need to let me know straight away. So, and the train was at the platform. I found my seat. Near the seat.
Was
I'm
it
ready.
busy?
I'm
Busy,
also,
the train?
It was busy. It was
Okay.
really busy. There's quite a lot of violence at the station that night.
Oh.
And the previous train,
You know who you're going to call.
Leicester comedy.
You know who you're going to call,
But you'll
Frank.
travel. Leicester he can do in a couple of hours. Just jump in the smart car.
It was the rugby. There was rugby. Usually rugby people aren't very violent, but there was a whole...
The ones
there
in
were lots
pink
of
and white are
police.
lovely and calm.
So I think they were a bit tense. I think the conductors and all the train people were a bit tense. But I was on the train, and then at the last minute, the phone rang. The train is still stationary at this point.
Okay.
My phone rang.
Stationary. That seems so apt on many levels.
The phone rang, and I said, "Quickly, can you let me know? Do you need me to do it?" And he said, "Yes, get off the train, get off the train."
Oh, he knew you were on the train. He was obviously in a call box right at the side. It was a trap. Okay.
He was, and so he was still.
He said, "And don't forget that orange bag you've got with you," because you were with Judith Chalmers, if I remember rightly, that night. Oh. Sorry, everyone.
I didn't have time to even hang up, so he was still on the line, and then I raced for the door, and it was one of those train doors where you have to pull down the window and open it from the outside.
Oh yes, I know.
So sort of 70s one.
Yeah, pulled down the window, I'm rattling the handle, but it won't open. The train's still stationary and it won't open.
It locks it.
No, you have to be calm with those, though, don't you? Don't you find there's just an extra little click on them?
You're suggesting they sense emotion?
Well, I find when people are desperate to get off a train, I know because I've pursued strangers on trains in the past. I've seen people trying to get off when it's moving. And if you go, I've got to get open, if you just take it easy, take a breath. That's the secret.
Really? Well, I was doing it. It wouldn't open. And then I think I'd stopped the train. I think it was about to go, and because of that, whistles were blown. Men with the little, the lollipops, the
Men
train
with the lollipops?
that they sort of a bit like a flight landing person.
Oh yeah.
Can't remember the name of that.
Yeah, like semaphore.
Like
type.
the semaphore. They ran over to me, and basically they're very cross with me.
What did they say?
Because there'd been violence at the station. They were already crossed. They said, "It's already locked. It's already internal locked. What are you doing? You can't get off the train now." Wait, he said, "Where are you trying to go to?" And I was like, "Well, I'm trying to get off. I'm trying to get off
this
the train.
This is the Leicester train, isn't
more
it?
where I don't want to go to. I want to get off here."
I
He said, "Well, it's locked now." And then, after telling me that there was no way I'm going to get off, he then proceeds to tell, just have a go at me. Like, "What are you doing? You can't get off the train now. You think about the other people. Do you want to go and tell all these other people on the train why you're delaying the train?"
Well, that'll take ages.
Exactly.
And then, let me guess, on the steps in the distance, you saw a man just finishing off fish and chips in a Union Jack top, and he came racing down, dragged you from the train. Am I right?
No.
So you didn't get off?
I didn't get off. They said, "Well, you have to go."
You told the man you were going to do that gig?
Yeah, you have to get off. Well, he was still on the line.
He's listening to all
He
this.
was on the line.
How humiliating.
He heard it all.
He listened to you being reprimanded by the internet.
Hold on, the man was on the line. He'll do anything to stop this train. I persisted with that. See, the initial line was lost, and I thought, no, I'm going with it.
Well done, you went for it.
No, he was, and they say you have to go to Melton Mowbray and come back. Be half an hour.
Well, get yourself a pork pie, though, for the gig.
I tell you what, the Statesman would have liked one of those.
Oh, God, I think he lives in Melton Mowbray. He has a stately home there, with a big crust instead of a wall.
When he gets a job there, he's made
Very
up.
well insulated, his house. It's just got that jelly, that white stuff of that jelly.
Aspic.
Is it aspic?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Oh. I could do with an aspic, actually. I've been looking for one for a couple of days.
No.
Sorry,
it's
everyone.
the worst. Oh, no, it's not.
Is it the second worst thing I've ever said? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't get off. They shouted at me, and I went and I said to the guy, "I'm stuck on the train." He goes, "Yeah, I know. I heard it all. Sorry, that was really awful. I tell you, if they'd been shouting at me like that, there would have been a murder."
Oh.
And I think it's partly the fact that someone was listening to me, and I was sort
Was
of
it John
caught between...
Reginald Christie who runs the club?
No.
What I don't like about what he said is that sort of is saying, "Oh, I would have handled it in a more aggressive and manly way."
You know what it was saying? Man up is what it was.
Yeah.
No,
saying.
I don't think I think he was saying that I was some sort of saint-like figure.
It's interesting that you chose to interpret it that way.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's saying you're wet.
The thing was, I probably would have shouted at them a bit if there hadn't been someone on the train that I was kind of thinking. I mean, on the phone. Like I was sort of caught between. There was someone listening. And
Could
I think
he
that
not
affected
just have held his phone against the microphone in the comedy club, and you could have done your whole act from the train?
Wow, you have just revolutionised the comedy industry.
Yeah. I think that would have been quite exciting, because you'd have been able, they'd have had all your lovely comedy, plus it'd be like a Kraftwerk gig.
I think what you've invented there, Frank, is the radio.
Did you read about the Indian man who he has 39 wives. I say 39 wives. I'd have rounded it up, personally, if I'd been him.
I'd call them a crew.
Yeah,
he does sometimes have to round them up.
I bet he does, yeah. So you have dogs and stuff. Indian man has good bitch. Good bitch. You wouldn't say that to your wife, but that's what they say. That is what they say. Come here.
Yeah.
Good bitch. If anyone's listening to this...
Did they really?
That's my
if any
pulling
sheepdog... if there's a sheepdog listening to this podcast, he'll be off now.
I love it.
They'll be corralled before they know what's happened. So, yeah, he's got 39 wives, 94 children, and 33 grandchildren.
Has he been to St Ives, this guy?
Why?
I think I met him once on the way to St Ives. I was going to St Ives and I met this guy with 39 wives.
It's a bit of a coincidence.
Wife had... You know what I'm talking about.
No.
There's the rhyme. When I was going to St Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Each wife
I don't know
had
that
7
rhyme.
cats. Each cat had 7. You don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know that.
You say rhyme.
It's a rhyme. What,
It's not a nursery
doesn't
rhyme.
rhyme as such.
Is it rude, or is it...
No, it's not rude.
How does it end?
How does it culminate?
I don't know. Put me on the spot now. I thought that each cat has... and all of the things...
Each cat? Why, who brought cats into the equation?
As I was going to St Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Each wife had 7 cats. Each cat had 7 mice. Each mice had 7 pieces of cheese. I forget the exact details.
Each mice.
And then it goes, how many people were going to St Ives?
Well, just the one man, because...
Yes, that's the riddle. It's a riddle. I guess it's a riddle.
Well, it's hardly a...
Well, I like a riddle, generally.
Quite a well-known riddle, I thought. Has anyone... No, not the producer.
It wouldn't have gone down that well in Batman, would it, if the Riddler had come out with that?
on the way to St Ives.
Yeah. Hey, Batman. When I was on the way to St Ives, I met a man with 7... Wait, I can't work this one out, Robin. But it's still ongoing, Batman. He's been going for 42 minutes.
Where is St Ives? Is that...
I don't think this is about the place name, Robin. It's something to do with the intricacy of the numerical aspects. I'll get it on the Bat computer. Say, Batman, did you used to be a court stenographer? I did. How did you know that, Robin? All these Wellingtons are tight. So, yes, he once got married. He married 10 women in 1 year.
In 1 year?
So he had 10 marriages. And I know there's no shortage.
Not all at once.
There's
That's
no
lazy.
shortage of rice out there, I know. But
and they all live in a 4-storey building with 100 rooms. That's quite greedy, I think.
I quite... it's a very, very elaborate version of my own domestic situation.
Well, actually, Frank, it's funny you should say that. Because I am about to move in with my best friend until I move into my new house that I bought. So I'm living there for about 6 weeks. So I will be, well, I mean, I should say there aren't 39 wives or 94 children.
No.
But there are about 7 or 8 dogs and 3 children.
Is it an Eskimo? Okay. Who else would have 7 or 8 dogs?
My friends do.
Well, as I was going to St Ives, I met a man who had 8.
7 or 8 dogs? Oh, yeah. If they said 7 or 8, that would have... You got to be...
But my point being, this is sort of communal living, really, isn't it? Which you've got experience of, Frank, most recently. Yes. Gareth, you seem to have constantly lived in strange places.
Well, nowadays people need to share.
What?
And communal living is much more. Well, a lot of people are getting married older, so it means you.
A lot of people aren't getting married. Let's face it.
A lot of people aren't.
They're living
married.
over the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lots of people do communal living now. We lived before. Laura and I lived with my parents for a while in the granny flat that's upstairs. But also before that, we shared with another couple when we lived in London.
Oh, very racy.
You shared a flat?
A flat, yeah.
See, I'm surprised there's not more of that. See, what I like about my girlfriend's sister living with us is that, well, for a start-up, I think it's nice for my girlfriend to have someone to talk to in the evenings.
Yeah.
But also...
Take the pressure off.
You end up in a situation when you're in a relationship where you only really hang around with one adult.
Yeah.
And even if you have children, there's just the one adult all the time. And I think 3, as we've discovered, I think from doing this show and these podcasts, is a nice dynamic.
I agree.
So, it's, you know,
And let's
say
be
if we
honest,
have
Frank.
if me and Kath have a blazing row, we bring her in as a sort of ombudsman.
An umpire.
Yeah, in our house, Sister Rachel, she's like the conciliation service ACAS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we watch the video back of that bit?
And also, when she arrived, she insisted on the heating going on. And this has been ongoing.
You must have been happy about that,
Yeah,
Frank.
because my girlfriend, she likes it cold. I mean, really cold.
She likes it icy.
I was sitting and watching telly in a hooded top every night, and she wore a hoodie. I mean, she's saying she likes it cold. She would wear a hooded top as well. The neighbours across the way thought we were a small monastery. It was freezing.
When I went into your bedroom, Frank...
Well, yes, but come on.
It was... No, you made me go in there.
You were going to be cold in that outfit.
You made me go in there. That sounds worse.
Yeah. You had a Bonnie Girl outfit on there. I remember you had a very fluffy Scott at the back.
You made me go in there to see how cold it was. You wanted proof. You wanted
That's what I said.
Look,
And the
Jesse
door
Eisenberg's teeth are chattering, look.
Yeah, I had carcasses hanging on hooks. That's how cold it was.
He said, feel how cold it is.
And it was. Yeah. And clammy. Yeah, but
Tried that on me once.
That's been one plot. I'd say one thing about communal living. I don't know if this will apply to you, because will you have your own area?
I'll have my own quarters, I think.
Will you have your own fridge?
No, I don't think so.
See, what I've found is difficult.
What's that?
And I love having Rachel staying. But when anyone stays for any length of time, sometimes on my way home, I start to, I anticipate the evening meal. And I'm thinking, got that pie's in the fridge. Oh, and I've eaten the pie. Mentally, I've undressed it with my eyes before I've arrived home. And then it's not always there with communal living. See, when you live alone, you leave a pie,
Rachel
the pie will be
sometimes
there.
take the pie.
But very rarely.
Yeah, she's a very well-mannered girl.
I mean, she wouldn't do it deliberately, but I don't want to own the pie.
No?
I believe in sharing. I wouldn't condemn her for it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, even in that sharing, you sometimes forget and you anticipate. So be careful of that.
Things aren't always where you left them.
No.
It's the moral of the story, really.
My recommendation also is have a lock on the bathroom door.
Oh.
What, on the inside or the out?
The inside.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have one because we moved into the flat and the flat just didn't have one, and you're not supposed to, when renting, you can't make changes and things. So we just thought we'll have a system where if the door's shut, assume someone's in there.
Should have a cistern.
Oh.
If the door's shut, assume someone's in there, and either don't go in or knock, if it's an emergency.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what's annoying about
just
that.
blown shut.
Because I lived in a house with that system,
Right.
Yeah.
and what would happen is that someone would come out the toilet, shut the door,
Yeah.
and no one goes in the toilet for the next 4 days because they think there's someone in the toilet.
Yeah.
It's not a
damage.
good...
Can't stand on ceremony.
Yeah.
It's not. So you have to start doing that knocking thing and that.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to us one day is that we were, and it was Saturday morning, so we were sleeping in, and Saturday morning, their family had come round.
Ooh.
We slept in, and all of a sudden the house is full of people. So then we've got to get ready. So we're sneaking around like ninjas, trying to because we're still in our jammies.
Black jammies. Yeah.
And so me and Laura decided to both go in the toilet at the same time in the bathroom to get ready.
I'm stopping
and
it
so
right there.
Highly irregular.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. If they're going in that often. Both went in together. To do
Yes,
what?
have
Ablutions or?
shower, and just get ready with the sink.
But
one
you
in the
weren't?
shower and the sink.
Get ready
no,
with
not
the
in
sink?
No
not
discharge.
twin. No.
No.
And
Well, that's all right.
Yeah, but basically the girl who we were sharing with, her dad just barged in. They hadn't told him the rules.
Was it after you'd gone in, or did he try to get in while the door was open?
Yeah.
He saw it as an opportunity and he thought, I'm in here as well. Get off! No, it'll be fine.
He thought it was like
No.
car keys.
Where's that loofah?
No,
That's what they call Gareth. I think it's loofah. Could be loafer. Carry on.
we were in there, and Laura actually was so shocked she told him to something off.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
That's not like Laura.
No, it's not like Laura.
Well, maybe that's why he was hanging around.
But I can understand.
Closer inspection, it wasn't Laura. I don't know how she got it.
So
I'll be reporting back, and I'm going to choose, because I quite want a dog in the bed. Now,
no.
Listen, hear me out. I've got a choice of 7 or 8. So I've said I want a dog in the bed. Right. Well, I can choose any of them. Will I go for the highly strung Chihuahua? I think we know which way we're headed here. Will I go for the faithful, loyal Shih Tzu? Oh, my chair just sunk down as I said that. Or will I go for the lively and energetic Boston Terrier? What do you think, guys? Do you think no dog in bed?
Well, first of all, a dog in the bed is one of the worst things I could ever imagine. I will not have a pet in the bedroom with me, taking all the oxygen. You always wake up with a headache. Also,
right?
I inhaled a dander during the night, and I wake up with my eyes streaming and a bit of a chest.
Fine.
I think I'm allergic. Also, I hate them.
You don't like dogs?
Pets of any kind.
Do you?
In the bedroom, I mean. I remember I got in once drunk, and in the old days when I lived with my parents. Yeah, well, Shep was there, and it was so cold in our kitchen downstairs in those days. This was a council house in Albury in the West Midlands, that he was trembling. I've never heard a dog's teeth chatter before, because they seemed too interlocked to move about, but they were chattering. And I was what a shame. And I took Shep up to bed.
Oh, that was nice of you.
And when I got onto the blankets, this is in the days of when one would have blankets and an eider down and stuff. There wasn't just a duvet. So I got onto the blankets and I put him between the blankets and the eider down. So even drunk, I didn't want him next to my skin. I didn't want to wake up in his arms. Actually, would I wake up in his arms or would I wake up in his legs? We don't have arms. No. I couldn't imagine saying, I woke up in my dog's legs this morning. People would... Anyway.
Can dogs hug?
They don't have arms. They can... No, they can't
but
hug.
he's not a cuddly dog either, Shep. He was,
he was a Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
He was a Staffy, wasn't he?
Yeah. They're very exposed, short haired. Anyway, I went to sleep. I woke up in the night. I heard a terrible scratching noise. Of course, it was my tongue moving around in my mouth. Because I'd had about 12 pints the night before. But there was something white at the side of my head on the pillow. And I picked something. It was a piece of, padding. And I thought, where's that from? And then I saw another. And then I realised there was an enormous hole in the eiderdown where Shep had built a sort of nest, a sort of dog nest.
Oh, Shep.
And I jumped out of bed. And as I jumped out of bed, my bare foot hit a still warm. It's a still warm.
I know what you're going to say.
Yes, exactly. And
it was a gift.
And such did I.
Simeon's gift is what it was.
Had I caught it on the heel, I wouldn't have minded. But it was on the toe, so it went through the gaps between my toes.
Oh, it was
not
squelchy.
unlike a Play-Doh fun factory. And
you needed your Batman wellies.
That was one act of kindness there, and that's how I was repaid. But so I think it's unhygienic. I think it's not right, a dog in a bedroom or any pet.
These are very different kind of dogs.
Well, a dog is a dog. They've still got dander. Don't tell me I haven't got dander.
What's dander?
You know, dander is from the same root as dandruff. It's that powder that comes off their skin. Well, it is skin.
Oh, I didn't know that's what
And that's
that
why
was.
people get allergic to cats and dogs. It's the dander they can't cope with.
Oh, I thought it was nice perfume talc. Oh, I won't go near it again.
Oh, no. No, so...
How long have you been using it?
Why do you want a dog in the bed?
Oh, I love it. I just think they're really cute. I love dogs. Nice to have
I like dogs in a field.
in a field.
Not in a bed. I said the Indian man said he likes 7 or 8 wives at his side every time. Big side he's got. Enormous side. Don't know. He must be curved.
Yeah.
What else, anyway?
Well, I've been reading this week about Matt Lucas off of
Little Britain.
Yes.
And what's the new one called?
Oh, it's
Come
your
Fly With
favourite.
Me.
Come Fly With Me.
Yeah, you like that one. He's wanted to do this for a long time because he's a big musical theatre fan, much like us, Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's now got a part in Les Miserables. He's going to play... Is it Thénardier? You know that, Master of the House.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. He's Master of the House. And I think the whole run...
He's done that once. Didn't he do it in a one-off
he
charity?
Did it in a recording.
But he's going to do a run
He's
now.
going to do a West End run.
Wow.
And it sounds like they're doing it for him.
He was born, truly, for Big Daddy Warbucks. One of the few great bold parts.
Yes.
Or The King and I.
King and I.
I mean, he would have been perfect. He could have played both parts. Yeah.
What would you play, Frank? So I know you're a fan of Annie.
I am, but I don't think I could play the War Book. I wouldn't be prepared
you're
to. You need to be bigger, I think. You need to be a dominant
Can I
figure.
tell you what I see you as? Bit of a Caractacus Potts, chitty chitty bang bang. The old bamboo.
It's never been one of my favourites.
I think you'd be good, the old bamboo.
I must say. I've always... I think my secret desire... There's two, really, but I think that the one that dominates for me is Fagin. In Lionel Bart's Oliver. When I see someone rich, both my hands start to itch. Only to find some peace of mind. I got to pick up... Too Jewish?
No.
Okay, not too Jewish. Okay.
Oh, Frank, if you do that, I'd like to be Nancy. You know
of course I know
the prostitute.
Nancy. Yes.
Are you allowed to say that prostitute on Absolute Radio?
Well, is she a prostitute? It's vague, isn't it?
She's a lady of the night. She's a kind-hearted soul.
Well, you say kind. I thought she was extortionate.
So I could do her. She goes, as long as he needs
And I think
me.
Gareth could still carry off Oliver with a shave.
Really, do you think?
Where is love?
Let's hear Oliver Gareth.
Well, that's the only one he has by
It's been
himself,
a terrible
isn't it?
beginning.
I also thought I could possibly be a Professor Higgins in my time.
Just you wait, Henry Higgins. Just you wait. You'd be great at that.
No, but you don't really have to sing, because you go, why can't a woman be more like a man? It's all that. There's that bit where they do, the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
I think she's got
Do you
it.
know every straight listener we've got will have turned off 5 minutes?
It's all got a bit John Barrowman.
And there's that bit where he says, where do they get that rain? And she says, on the plane. I'll tell you do on the plane.
Okay.
So he goes, where do they get that rain?
On the plane. On the plane.
And he says, where is that blasted plane? I thought, that's such a marvellous moment.
It is good.
Yes, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
No,
I was offered Mr. Cellophane in Chicago.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Why didn't you do it?
It's not a great part, is it?
Oh, it's better than no part.
It's all right, but it's not. He only gets one song, and it's not one of my favourites. And I was recently offered King Arthur in Spamalot on tour.
Were you really, Frank? 2 musical offers. I didn't know that.
I've not been offered no musicals.
Never been offered no musical.
I'm getting into the accent for
You're
Oliver.
getting into the Oliver
I'm going
one.
to be the Artful Dodger.
Yeah. Boy, I ain't been offered no musicals, Mr. Fagin. Well, don't blame me. What am I, an impresario? I'm just saying, though, it ain't fair as it was when Frank Skinner's been offered Chicago. And look at me standing here with not a musical in sight. Yeah.
Bad things happen to the Artful Dodger, though, when people play him. Like that's
Jack Wilde.
Oh,
the Curse of the Dodger.
The guy in the Monkeys. One
Has
of
he
the guys
played
in the Monkeys.
Dave
was the
Jones.
Artful
In
Dodger.
what way did
no,
bad
not
things
him.
happen to him?
Old age.
in the Monkeys.
It was Davy Jones.
Was he
Jack
as well?
Wilde was the
Because-
Artful Dodger.
Yes, but also the one with the funny face in the Monkeys. The drummer, was it?
He was
Mike.
apparently.
He
Was
wasn't
not?
the Artful. He was.
think he
He
was.
was Circus Boy.
Yeah. I think he was also the Artful Dodger.
Well, anyway, famously, Davy
Yeah.
Jones of the Monkees
Was he also the
Dodger.
Artful Dodger?
If it
Maybe
was either
was
one
it
of
just
them.
him?
Well, you two stop
But what is
arguing about the Monkeys.
So,
Like
but hold
1960s argument.
Yes, I don't know. I thought it was like a Darwin court case. Big row about the monkeys. If only that had been about whether Mickey Dolenz had played the Artful Dodger. No, but
You've got Google there. We need Google. What do we
it
do
was
without
Davy
Google?
It was Davy Jones.
Of course it was. If it was Davy Jones...
Don't have-
Yeah, but to be fair, okay, I'm just going to mediate here. Frank seems to know a little bit more about it. He's saying it's Davy Jones. You're going the one with the chin.
Besides, even if it was Mickey Dolenz or Davy Jones or even Woolhat,
Mike,
Yeah.
whose parents own Tipex or something, or Post-it notes.
whoever it was, you can't call it a curse when they went on to go on to some massively successful TV show and they're still working.
That's true, they're reforming.
That's like the curse of Dad's
Yes.
army. Oh, they've all
Back on
died.
the road.
Yeah, so it's a poor curse, isn't it?
It's worse than the curse of Dad's Army.
That's true.
Oh, they're all dead now.
Yes, but being dead, you could have the curse of Queen Victoria. Dead. Curse of Alexander the Great, dead.
Curse of the royal family.
Yeah, most of them.
A lot of them.
Dead.
Yeah.
And the ones that are alive now will die.
Yeah.
I mean, how bad a curse do you want? No, that wasn't rhetorical. How bad a curse do you want? I'm sorting one. I'm seeing an old woman who's sorts it out this afternoon.
So, that's nice of you.
Seeing an old
Nice
woman.
of you to give me a choice.
A crone. I'm seeing a crone. I've got an appointment. I've got an appointment with a crone. Appointment with a Crown, that could be... that's a film I'd go and see. Appointment with a Crown with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Of course, she couldn't have played that part 10 years ago. She'd grown into it.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, the softest, mintiest show in town. Sponsored by Tree Bar Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.